Greetings, mortals, and welcome back to my Magic 8.
Which is apparently going to be interesting today. I did crack over the weekend, and I did open up the save file to take a look at the buff situation, because the changelog stuff that I saw wasn't super specific about the details. And, hoo boy, changes are a little different than I was expecting. I was thinking that the transition to passes was so the transition of certain buffs to passives, like the resists and the stats being passive effects. I was thinking that was a component of the larger scale change to the buff system, where it was going to be the really big impactful buffs become become toggles, and then the stuff that's like boring, right, like plus to this stat, plus to this resist, right, like those buffs would basically become passes. That's not how that happened. So hey, it's time to stream. So every buff is now a toggle, which means that it's going to be interesting. There's also other mechanics that I didn't realize were going to be a thing. I think I saw people mentioning it, and I didn't really think too much about it. But we're going to load this up. I guess we should probably put this over to live scene. I'm perfectly fine with them rewriting the whole universe every couple of patches. It's gonna make my run a lot harder, because my run was built off of a certain set of, ideas about how it was gonna go, and then let's just say my character build doesn't quite work the way that I would have expected it to before. Hey, Malcolm. So we're gonna see what happens. It's like I bring along Cortal specifically for the purpose of being the buffer. That's why he's in the party. It's like, oh shit. So the way that the buffs now work is that the mana reserved is based off of the base SP generation of your class. So if you have the way that I would probably describe it is, the mana reserved has a base value according to 1 SP gained per level. And then with each additional SP gained per level that your class has associated with it, you're basically reducing it by a proportional value, right? So you divide it by 6 if you get 6 SP per level. This is my understanding based off of the conversations that I've had. Excuse me. And there's also some skills that impact it as well. So what that means for my character who has 1 SP gain per level is that they're dealing with the baseline costs forever. Protection for magic is no longer 150%. Interesting. So protection for magic has had its base cost reduced. That was at 150% before. I had presumed that it was expected that by the time you got access to protection for magic, that you would have enough points in, what was it? Is it Enlightenment? That it would reduce the cost, so it would be technically castable. But hey, if the base cost is 90%, then I don't even have to worry about that. I had a concern that it might be literally impossible to cast protection for magic on this character. Let's see, regen is 60%. Let's see, where would I get Enlightenment as a skill? Is that at the temple, I assume? Because I have bad news. The temple is currently closed. So I'm going to have to... it's at the miscellaneous shop? That's even worse. Oh boy. It's midnight. Okay, so we're going to have to do some clearing before we get access to Enlightenment, but that's fine. So, let's see here. Yeah, I do apologize for being gone so long. Some emergency stuff happened here that I needed to deal with. Let's see here. And I can't teleport out of here, though. Right, I believe I saw that mentioned that there's new spells. Let's see if any of those are things that I would have because they're just tied to a spell that I already had. What were they? I don't actually remember. Let's see. This increases mana regen. That could be very useful. Excuse me. Let's see. So let's check Fate. Let's see. Fate increases crit chance. Interesting. So our power contains. That's really funny. This is higher than it was before. Let's see here. So we're not going to have our power active unless we are willing to not have the ability to heal. And I don't care. We're going to do Hour of Power, and then we won't be able to heal with Silria. That'll be funny. Let's see here. Because, yeah, I'm not going to worry about data protection yet. Let's take a look at what the impacts of these things are. Let's see here. Let's see. Yeah, I would imagine that all these buffs are very, very strong now. It's just I just need to figure out which ones I want to cast. So we have the advantage that we have a vampire who should be able to just cast regen, and hopefully it works. Yes, so regen is working. It's my understanding that buffs no longer scale based off of items, right? Like gear doesn't affect. Well, I guess gear still does affect it because of it affects your base stats, which I believe some of this stuff is percentage based. Yeah, like stuff like haste would be modified by other stuff in your gear to a degree as well. But yes, so but anyway, the buffs don't directly scale with your gear, which means that I don't need to equip these artifacts anymore that are specifically for the purpose of boosting my buffs. So I could slap on Hera, which might be a good idea. Let's plop on Hera just to act as a baseline. We'll see if I have a better necklace available on me. And I believe... So I can't use Preservation and Day of the Gods at the same time on that character. So I believe what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to use... I think I am going to use Day of the Gods because I think it's funny. Or sorry, not Day of the Gods. Hour of Power. I think it's funny to lock myself in with Hour of Power. So can I do that? Yes. So one thing that's nice is that the SP cost, the mana cost, is 0. Which means that when you're dealing with these buffs, you can probably just swap them in and out. Because I didn't have 100% of my mana available, but I was still able to cast this. So it's functionally reducing my maximum to this value, but it doesn't require that I preload the stuff. I guess I should have checked the thing. I think that was like 26k. Let's go ahead and save in danger. So we went from 26 to 37, I think. No, it's 28. Okay, so that's about a 30% increase in total throughput, and that's without. So our power has had heroism removed from it. So that means that there's more potential scaling from casting heroism as well. The other one that was removed was... Oh god, what was the other one? Was it Bless? Was it Bless that was removed from it? It's got to be, because Bless isn't on there. So this increases attack and accuracy. So accuracy increases not only your chance to hit, but also increases your melee and ranged critical damage modifier. So Bless is a substantial damage increase in addition to being like an accuracy boost. Especially for a party like mine that has such a high crit rate. Let's take a look at what my crit rate is. Can I see my crit rate? I know that I can. I don't remember what it was. Is it just under luck? Critical strike chance 104%. Interesting. Is 100% crit chance going to be... Is that like the actual cap, or is there crit resistance that I have to worry about, which means the crit chance is going over 100% is not necessarily a problem, or not a problem, but like a waste of points. Like, does luck cap at the point where you get to 100% crit chance, or can it keep scaling after that? Okay. Like, is there a legendary that converts like crit chance above 100% into crit damage bonus, basically? Would that be how that works? Let's see. Okay, perfect. So, let's see here. You're at 11k. I think you were nowhere near 11k just now. So, interesting. So that's one buff cast. How high is your blood? Your blood is not quite as high as body is for Cortal. So Cortal could hypothetically get a more powerful regeneration effect going. In terms of impact, is this regen the same as the other regen? Are they both the same, or are they different now? Okay, so I think the regen values are pretty similar, right? Are the regen values pretty similar to what they were before? Or are they different? If they're scaling off of different factor, they look similar to me. But I also have a terrible memory. Okay. So regen is now going to be cast through Severia, because Severia has the mana for it. We can't justify using 60% of our mana on this character. So now we have, and the reason for that is we have to have Preservation cast. Now the issue is that we have Preservation cast on a character who is the squishiest character in the party, and Preservation now drops if that character goes unconscious. So we have to make sure that cover is enabled for every character, because if Cortal gets hit, Cortal is not just going to, go down. Cortal is in fact going to die instantaneously. Do not pass go, do not collect $200, etc., etc. Okay, now Fly has a static mana reservation cost. I really like that. I was wondering how this kind of stuff was going to be handled. I really like this. Having the non-combat buffs reserve. This isn't 5%. This is 5. This is just 5 mana reserved. Solid. So this is now a permanent buff as long as the character stays up. And that's a solid way to handle it. Like Featherfall is a thing that you just cast, it looks like. So that's not a toggle, which is good, because if you fall out of the sky, because I don't have Day of Protection anymore, to cast these for me. Wizard Eye, Mana Reserve 5, easy peasy. I don't even remember what buffs I need to cast. This is so funny. What else is there that's a non-combat, like world map buff that I'm thinking of? As opposed, like with Day of the Gods compared to using Hour of Power, I can check. So right now we've got. Let's use Ash as the baseline because Ash is doing the bulk of our DPS right now. I think that makes the most sense. So we're currently sitting at 45k. If we disable this, we're going down to 34. So this is 34 into 45. So that's again about a 30% increase. It's a little bit more than a 30% increase, I believe. And we have Day of the Gods, which gives us 52. So Day of the Gods is a bigger boost than Hour of Power, actually, even just for raw DPS. That's surprising. And that's in addition to boosting all my other stats as well. So I think that probably that's going to end up being the way to go. Give me a second. So let's remove Day of Protection. Let's take a look at our Vitality with Day of Protection active. And Day of Protection is, I believe, fairly minor compared to the other two buffs, which seems reasonable. Oh, look, I have great news for you, Live Forever Never. I have such amazing news for you. I'm pretty sure that if the person who casts Torchlight gets knocked unconscious, the Torchlight goes away. So you have that to look forward to. So like anytime, though I guess they can't be knocked unconscious. I feel like the combination of factors of Kortal having 6,000 max HP, paired with enemies hitting for 30,000 damage, paired with Kortal being the one who's maintaining the preservation means that I actually won't have to recast. I think I might actually not have to recast. Let's see here. I don't think I have the mana to do it. I can't do that and Day of the Gods. And Day of Protection isn't useful enough to make that work, I don't think. I could use a different buff, but like my party is specifically and uniquely bad at doing buffing right now. So we can actually remove this entirely because it's no longer relevant to our interests. We're not casting any nukes or anything. So I need to find a new ring. And what do I want to put on you? I'm sure I have a really good ring somewhere around here. Am I going to find it? Unclear. I'm just going to equip this for now. Oh shit, I don't need this either. Oh shit. I have multiple garbage rings. Yes. Okay, so we're going to be able to tinker with that. I don't think I want to tinker with that at this exact moment. I'm going to... I'm going to basically go get myself killed. So, we have... Day of the Gods cast, which is good because with Day of the Gods cast, we can still cast Shared Life. We have Preservation currently active. We have Regeneration active. And the regeneration is being cast by the Lich King, which means it's not being maintained by one of the healers. So the healers will be able to be kept up. So I have at least one element of my character build that hasn't been like really brutalized by this change, because I do still have the ability to pick up my healers if they go down. That would have been a problem. My Troll's regen is currently about 1,400. So, which is, I think, about on par with the thing. Oh, the skill. Increases your regen by 1%. Oh! When you said check regen before, I was like, I think it's the same, isn't it? Okay, so when you're, does this go past 100%? Like if you're at negative 200% HP, you get like quadruple regen? Oh, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. Okay, let's see. Not linear. So it's like one per. So for, is it like? It's been too long since I was in algebra. I know the type of equation that I'm thinking of, but I'm actually struggling to think of the name of it. Let's see. So it's 0 HP. It's double. And then, is it at like negative 100%? Is it more than that? And then it's, so that would mean that like it's oh, HP loss squared. Oh, okay, I gotcha. Okay, gotcha. Interesting. Yeah, that's going to actually change things a lot for the situations where quarter goes down. That's actually that's a really clever change, because it makes it a lot. It makes the regen characters much better able to recover from catastrophic damage to themselves, but doesn't really make them that much better as targets for... that was terrifying. It says it's still active. Does it have to wait on a tick for the thing to go down, or... Fly is also still up. Let's see. So I think all my buffs are still up. Oh, so anyway, what I was saying is basically like, if you're using the troll as a battery for HP, right? Like you're storing HP on them and giving it to other people, particularly if they have a lot of HP relative to the other characters, they won't be getting that much additional regen out of the change, because they're going to be consistently high in HP, which means that the change doesn't really introduce much in the way of difference. But if they're the one taking damage, then it makes a very big difference to them, because in order for them to be at 20% HP and to get the value of being at 20% HP, your party would need to be basically dead already if you're using shared life continuously. right? Because they're probably going to have like one of the highest HP values in the party, right? And then it's being swapped. It's shared with all the other people. So I feel like I guess that would keep them at a lower percentage now that I think about it. Okay, the buffs definitely wore off there. They did not, or did they come back up? Yeah, it definitely makes them much more capable of handling like clutch situations. No need to recast, but it'll go down when they go down, is it? So the effect will like go down and then come back up. I'm actually shocked that we haven't died yet. Let's see here. Okay. So anyway, I feel like that's a very interesting change. It also makes it so that in situations where like you are dealing with an enemy that's like pounding you. There's been a lot of situations where I've been trying to retreat. I don't think I removed it. I think I looked at it and didn't double click on it, so it's still active. The how much endurance do I have? I have 800 endurance, which isn't a ton. There's a lot of situations where like Korgrick and Severia are the two like last survivors, but not because Korgrick is actually still up. It's because Korgrick pops back up and then gets tagged back down and pops back up and tags back down. That cycling would be much faster if Korgrick is getting like huge. That's actually cool. Okay, but that does mean that unfortunately Torchlight doesn't need to be recast, which means that we have unfortunately nerfed the power of the Torchlight highlights, but okay. This is going way smoother than I expected. This hasn't been too much trouble, even with only the ability to cast like a couple of buffs. I feel like the change makes the buffs strong enough that like just Day of the Gods on its own is doing so much work. At least that's my impression. I'm in deep shit here. Oh boy. Yeah, still no heroism. We'll hopefully be able to cast that eventually. Okay, we have one up. How are we doing? Okay, we have enough. Okay. Okay. I'm enjoying this. I think this is interesting. Like the interaction here of like the lack of micromanagement, but the buffs dropping and then coming back when the character's back has been pretty interesting. One thing that's interesting for me though is, should not Kortal be dead right now? Right? Like Kortal had negative 800 and has 500 endurance. So does it only because I thought that it checked every time you changed your HP value, but it's possible that increasing your HP doesn't have the chance to kill you. No, even if you're retaining the same HP, I would think it would. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the check, but my thinking is that I should be actually dying here every time the Kortal gets hit, which would dramatically change how smooth this is going, obviously. This feels pretty smooth because preservation isn't actually failing me. Okay, all set. And this is a bad idea. Are we gonna do it anyway? Yes. I love doing bad things. Or doing things that are bad ideas. Alright.
We don't need this.
Okay, all set. Save the game. Move over here. So we need to get to the miscellaneous store for enlightenment. I do think that it's pretty funny to not tie enlightenment to the temple and to instead tie it to the miscellaneous store. It has very enlightenment vibes, right? Because it's like the enlightenment was associated with a dissociation from the church. Even though the term enlightenment is often used to describe religious stuff, the Enlightenment itself is actually a move away from religious dogma. So I think that that's actually a very funny idea to put it in the miscellaneous store. I think it's appropriate. Let's see. Yeah, the buffs are definitely wearing off eventually when Cortal goes unconscious. But they're not going down immediately. But there was I'm pretty sure that my buffs went down, but I was still conscious in one of those times. However, it's possible that I was at a low enough negative value at the time. It's all updated. Look, I'm happy to play on the actual current build. You know what I mean? Like, I'm perfectly content to try out whatever, is the thing. So we're gonna try it out. We're also gonna be able to get the Enlightenment thing soon, which will mean we can transition preservation over to Silria. Like, we've gotten through the most dangerous component of the thing. So just give me a second. And see, let's... Tied to the Temple of Ba. It was like, I saw Temple of Ba, and it was, oh, wait. Uh-oh. I've extracted it, but I haven't put it into my main folder yet. Oh. Okay, so never mind. We're going back to the page. Do it now. Okay. But I actually think that it's very fun to work with a live updating game. Like, I've never had like developers in chat like updating things as I run into bugs and things like that until this run, right? And it's super interesting. I'm really enjoying it. So I am know. I just think it's interesting and fun. So now preservation will drop and kill me instantly anytime something bad happens. I believe. The miscellaneous store I think is only going to open at 8, right, or 9 maybe. So let's take out a couple more of these wyverns. Oh, and the Temple of Ba thing. I read that as we should try the Temple of Ba. Oh, they open at 5? Oh, well, that's great. I'll make my life easier. I guess I should have checked if that dropped me low enough that I should have died, but let's see here. How much time do I have before what was it saying? How much time do I have before my buffs are supposed to drop when someone goes down? Like how many seconds? Is it just like the standard like 5-second ticks? Or is it miscellaneous store? Is there even an alchemist here? Is it no, this is an armor smith. Okay. So if I'm fast enough, I might be able to tag it quick enough, but it's not like I can reliably expect for it to take a while. I don't think the elves have... I don't think there's an alchemist here. Because there's not that many places. There's not that many buildings here. I don't think there's an alchemist here. Oh boy. Hey, look. At least we took out the Titans before this. It wouldn't make that big a difference anyway, because we would not be able to get... we wouldn't be able to get even to expert before, while we're here, right? Because we don't have access to the skill trainers. So it wouldn't be that huge of an upgrade. It would be nice, to be sure, but we wouldn't be able to really do that much with it. So it would make... okay, it would probably, just at normal, it might actually give me enough to... do the most important thing, so there's that. Oh, shit. Yeah, where are the people, the expertise and things like that for that skill? Is that new NPCs, or is that what skills is associated with? I've never trained cover, so I also don't know how cover works. Does it just do it automatically? Okay. So never mind then. The fact that I don't have access to it is a big deal because it means that I don't have access to the... So 6, 12, and 20 give us the different expertise values. I don't know, man. I don't feel weaker. I'm feeling pretty good about this. There's a reason that I was like, oh, I think on Monday I'm going to be in for a difficult time unless the new Hour of Power can carry me to victory. And it's not the new Hour of Power, it's the new Day of the Gods, but I think the new Day of the Gods might be able to carry me to victory here. Unless I have to clear every dungeon. I have to clear everything. So I have to clear the overworld and every dungeon before I can leave. So we still need. There's only one more dungeon though. Like there's not like a ton that we have left to do here. Though it is a particularly nasty dungeon, I think. The introduction of fireballs to the equation is never a good thing for me. And it's another one of those dungeons that has like the pits that you'll end up with a bunch of devils at the bottom of a lava pit that can make your life a living hell.
I can't carry
So we'll see. We'll see how difficult that dungeon is. The other thing that I should do, how close are we to leveling? I believe not. So I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to start that dungeon. So we're going to go train, and then we're going to start doing that dungeon. Exactly. Preventing yourself from winning is very important. Indeed.
Practice makes perfect. Well done. Well done. Well done. Well done. Well done.
Let's see. You can learn Arms Master? Is that new?
Fine elfish web. See ya, miser. Come in.
Oh,
How may I
please.
help
I didn't actually check where it is.
Maybe you'll buy next time.
No,
Well, I never.
definitely won't.
How
It's against the
may
rules.
we help you? Walk in the light.
No.
Goodbye.
I refuse. Okay, so we got Arms Master. That's interesting. That's 2 damage, 1 attack, and 1% speed. Interesting. So we actually could put some points into Arms Master if we wanted to. I don't know how big of an effect that would be, but so we're putting a point into regen because that is always required, and I think I am just going to keep sword, leather, arms, all this stuff just at an equivalent level. Was Arms Master changed? I think it was, right? Was like Arms Master Mastery improved or something? Is it what? Did it just have like 1 damage added at all levels except? No, because it was 1/1/1 at Master. So now it's sorry, no, I guess it was 2, right? So it was. I think that in the mod it was doubled, right? So it was 2 damage, and then 1 attack, and then 1 speed or something like that. So now now it goes 1 in damage and 1 speed, then transitions into something I think is at expert. It's like what it was at master before, and then at master it has an additional point of damage added to it. So that's a big improvement. If I'm mathing that correctly, and then at Grand Mastery it's the same, which makes sense because as we've established, GM Arms Master is really fucking good. What, Ashcore doesn't get an Arms Master improvement? Oh no! How am I going to live? Alright, so right. We need to pump. I'm just going to keep pumping shield. We're just going to keep pumping shield until we have gotten it caught up with plate. So we're pumping shield straight up to 42 because we're basically getting a new skill in line. I think I might as well get Arms Master up to 4. It makes a degree of sense to pump Arms Master higher than that. And I think that would probably be a pretty sizable boost. because the recovery time boost on Arms Master is a really big deal. It is funny that the Shaman gets an Arms Master, but but our Seraph doesn't. That's actually really funny. Let's see here. So sword is same. We'll be able to get this up to expert. Gives us a 4% speed boost over what we had before. I think I'm just going to keep pumping this stuff, though it is really tempting. One of the reasons that I was pumping all of these together was because it gives the Day of the Gods style effect. But it doesn't do that anymore. And I don't know which buffs I'm going to have access to. Like which buffs I'm going to be able to actually meaningfully cast on this character with once I've got Enlightenment. We're going to see how much mana we have to play with, which means that I don't really have a huge incentive to invest a ton more into magic until I get an idea. So there's no reason to invest in Arms Master beyond Axe, because Axe is oh wait, this is 2 speed, this is 2% speed, this is 1% speed. Is this like a multiplier added at the end, whereas this is a change to recovery by a static value, or are these functionally equivalent? Like it's editing the same value, right? Let's see here. So if those are both impacting the same value, then it doesn't make a lot of sense to invest past my Axe skill. Let's see here. I think it becomes really important how survivable I am. But this is still only level 104. There's no shot that I'm going to have enough control cubes that I can justify pumping up leather, probably. I guess it does have the gods effect, so hypothetically it would be worth it just for that purpose. Oh shit, I have this that I didn't equip on me. Why didn't I just slap this onto you? Because you already have this. Okay, so this is the person that it makes the most sense to equip it on to a large degree. But it's also the character that... Right, we were thinking about swapping our gear around for this artifact. So, what do you have? This is a cloak. You already have this effect as well, actually. Interesting. How many people have this effect already? This is actually a huge upgrade for you. Do I just want to give this to you? Do I have this effect? I don't think I even have this legendary effect. Okay, yeah, this is an easy choice. Just 12% boost to both of these stats. Nailed it. Let's see. This is a character that it's important for them to stay up as well. We don't have protection from magic, which means that we have to worry about instant death effects proccing on... I think Korgrik has it on this. So Ashcore already has death and eradication immunity on an item. We don't have to worry about Ashcore. Ashcore has immunity gear on these, 42 body resistance and 48 might. This is on the character who is obliterating everyone else in DPS. Intellect and fire resistance. just see the effort they have to go through to see a fraction of our power. Ash Cortez, son. I don't remember the exact quote. Invincible's a good show. People should watch it. Oh, man. Let's see here. Not even my fun. Yeah, no shit. Just thinking about how insane Ash is going to be with like a full setup, because we've got like a full weapon setup. Ash's weapon setup is pretty solid now, but like we still have a lot of things that aren't weapons. I do have preservation. Okay, fine. Let's see. Oh, did my boss come back up? There we go. All right. Okay, so we are going to have to deal with that. And that's fine. Is this with the thing equipped? It's perfect. Okay. So, God, that's going to be terrifying. I'm looking forward to that. I was actually really concerned for a while that Ash was going to be just kind of fundamentally unable to keep up with the percentage modifiers that I have on this, especially because of the fact that, like, realistically speaking, a person who's scaling off of casting abilities has more points to play with, right? Because of the fact that each point is making the additional points and the other ones cost less. So it's like, is this going to be, like, an issue? And the answer appears to be no. I think I'm actually just going to hold off on putting points into Cortal for now. Cortal, I think, is going to hold off in order to save up for Enlightenment, because we're going to want to put a lot of points in Enlightenment. And I don't know how many levels we're going to get by finishing up this zone. So we have 3 coming at us right now. We have 1 coming at us right now. So burn through that one. And we need to get... We have a lot of itemization changes that we need to make. That cover, let's go. We also seem to have a lot of AC. What is our... I'm getting better luck than I would have expected with my AC stuff. Also, holy shit. Yeah, this shield is making a big honkin' difference for this character. Like, physical damage reduction is 90% now. So the adjustment to the formula has done a significant amount of work, because Ash is at 87%, which is higher than the resists with, you know, I don't think there's much meaningful resistance gear on this character. So that would be the expectation. $22 resist. Your gear is so bad. How is the knight this good with such trash gear? Oh god. I was really worried that they weren't going to be able to keep up, but you know, the combination of Arms Master plus dual wield, because dual wield generally gives good damage results, plus like GM spear and sword is like a solid combination. Really good. Really good. I'm very pleased with Ash. You know, some of these characters are worse itemized, and still giving really, really good results. So I guess I could, if I wanted to play things appropriately, I could take advantage of the fact that that the fly effect works in this zone now. Never mind, it doesn't. Oh, it just comes back. Okay, I get it. I don't have to recast it. It gets interrupted. Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. It does get interrupted. I didn't even check. I didn't even check that interaction. I think I have the Druid quest, so I should be able to drink from this thing. The really funny thing is that because of the fact that I didn't even do the promotion quest for Druids in the other game, Cortal just has less HP than he should. He's behind in HP because of the fact that he's tied to the Druids. And I didn't do the Druid promotion. So I did it in the first area, but I'm not like an Elder Marabou because I didn't do the Druid quest because they're tied to things that are like, ooh, at this time of year, do this thing. And it's like, it's never going to be that time of year. Okay. Please. Damn. Celery isn't fast enough. Not fast enough. Just everybody's got cover on just to get Cortal like protected. Turns out the wyvern specifically targeted Marabou. Just to troll me. Let's see. Alright. Let's do a little bit of kiting here. We don't actually have that much left. We actually have a pretty decent amount left now that I think about it. Let's finish off these wyverns so that I don't forget they're here. And then once we've got these wyverns dealt with, we can start working on the water elementals. And that should be useful. We're just going to dive this one. You know, look. It's fine. It's fine. Look, tying the buff that keeps people alive to your squishiest character is a good strategy that I should maintain and not a strategy that I need to fix. This is not a... This isn't a bug, it's a feature. Okay. Oh, man. So, I think I am probably just going to dive into the altar here and see if... Ooh. That's concerning. I'm looking for right now... Oh, what just happened? Oh! Swapper. Alright, so that building did not help me much. And by much, I mean at all. Let's see. How tough are you? How much this costs? It costs like 50%, right? Oh, it costs 30%. I'm currently using 60, so I could apply water resistance and I still have 10% of my mana left. No, because my other things are costly enough that I don't have enough. I need a little bit of extra mana, and we can actually just equip this immediately, and then we have 2% of our base mana available, which should be enough to cast a single Share of Life. And that's all we really care about. I get instantly tagged. Ooh boy. Ooh boy. Ooh, these are gonna be rough. Let's see. I guess I shouldn't have killed those wyverns yet, huh? Right, so let's go do our inventory management before we get ourselves killed. This is a good item. We need to keep a grain equipped, I think. This can probably go to you in place of this thing. Let's save it up. And what else was the thing? Okay, let's cast water resistance, which gives us how much water? 714. Holy shit! That a lot of water resistance. Why do you have so much water resistance, friend? What do I have on that gives you so much water resistance? Oh, you're wearing a shield. Is it basically just the shield? Presumably. Because I think I don't have any specific water resistance here, so this is like 240. So that this shield is giving me a crazy amount of resistance. Holy shit. Yeah, if I can get enough enlightenment to tie preservation to Silria, which honestly I could just do that now. I could swap up my setup. Let's take a look here. So if we swap our setup, we could do Day of Protection. Let's if we remove Day of the Gods, we're gonna lose a lot of stats. But we could then do Day of Protection instead. And with Day of Protection active, we have the ability to disable this. And we're looking at fairly similar amount of water resistance, but actually a higher value for water resistance on Severia because we're also increasing our body. And ditto here, right? Like increasing our air magic is what we need in order to get this person up. So from there, we can do preservation, and we've now swapped it off, so you now have 91% mana to play with. We don't need to cast preservation with you anymore, so we can cast something else instead. We could cast protection from magic if we wanted. You know what we could cast? We could cast haste. Wait, this reduces incoming magic damage to the party by 5%? Interesting. Don't have enough for that, unfortunately. So it's 54% to play with. Doing shield plus haste isn't viable right now. What does recharge item do? Empower. Reserve a percentage of your mana increase spell damage of your party by 15%. Interesting. Okay. So that's what everyone was talking about when they were talking about that. I was wondering what people were talking about when they were looking at. People were talking about like the recharge item thing. I was like, what is happening with recharge item? We could get Stone Skin active, but there's no reason to for the enemies that we're fighting right now. We could activate Bless if we wanted. We could not activate Heroism. We could also activate Fate. What is our current crit chance? 81%. I think... Let's try Fate on you. 91. So that gives us a 10% increase to our crit chance. I think I'd prefer to have Bless over Fate. I think that's my preference. So we're going to cast Bless. I think that is more impactful for my purposes. And oof. Yeah, my stats without Day of the Gods are really rough right now. Okay, so we should be in a slightly better position, and by slightly I mean much better position, because Preservation is net being tied to Silria means that we have we're substantially more durable. So if I just burn through this sprite, we're okay here. We just lost a control cube. Life is sad. I don't think these will go back onto shore, right? Like once they're offshore, I think they're offshore. Alright. So, I think this will be fine. We'll have to see. And we're going to have a much more dedicated set of buffs for each scenario, which I also think is cool. Having to like pick and choose which buffs I'm going to activate is something that I actually appreciate. Like being able to just maintain every buff all the time makes it so that once you have access to a buff, there's a lot less like moment-to-moment decision-making. Not moment-to-moment. A lot less like decision-making fight-to-fight, right? Because it's like, okay, well, you know, I'm fighting this type of enemy. This buff that I already have active anyway is going to come into play, right? But it's not like you wouldn't have the buff active anyway, right? So I think that this is going to be interesting. I think it's going to be an interesting change to the way that things work. Can I get you all? I'd love to be able to just fight them on the island. Because if I could fight them on the island, then I could actually loot them. It's very sad that I'm not going to be able to loot any of these, because I think if they get off the island, they're gone. They're not coming back, based off of the behavior of the ones at the other place. So... Okay. Here we go. Okay. Okay. Let's get the fuck out of here. This is fine. Everything is fine. Hey, Astro Kitty. Wow. That's just tracking straight into my face. Beautiful. And I think dive this one. Those will rotate around a bit. That was spooky. Okay. Well, we're almost done with Avli. We just need to clear out, you know, 1,000 water elementals. Man, I'm looking forward to getting Master Shield on Silria. That's gonna be so fucking crazy. Silria's gonna get so tanky so fast. It's actually a little bit tempting to give her cover. I don't think I'm going to, but it's tempting. It would be very funny to do so. Like, actually invest into the skill. Oh, jeez. Alright, we need to get out of here. Don't have to use action economy to refill that, which is a big deal. Not having to use action economy to recast fly is actually such a huge deal for me. Like, that is a huge buff for both dealing with the the effect where when you attack it drops, as well as dealing with the unconsciousness, where I just need to pick the person back up. I don't need to then recast. Like, that's actually a huge improvement to my ability to survive more in the scenarios where I need to evacuate. Okay, water elemental, just do its thing. Okay.
We could sell it.
We certainly
Now here's
could.
something that's worthless.
Okay. I like that combination of voice lines. Well, this is something, it's worthless. Where it's like, you know, oh, there's a thing here that's worthless.
It's worthless.
Ow!
Sorry.
No space.
Won't fit.
I can't carry anymore.
Let's see.
It won't fit.
Where do I put it?
No space.
Let's just do this. Alright, so we now just have a couple more left here. We will, I guess, I don't know if I want to fight all three. It's a water elemental, this is also a water elemental. So we have two of the highest tier. Did I actually loot all these? Yes, okay. So we also have the ability to grab some food here. which is going to be important eventually. We only have 3 food. We should actually head over to the inn before we go into this dungeon over here. I'm gonna pop over to the inn quick before I forget. But before I do that, I'm gonna get myself killed by some water elementals. Because that's just how I roll. Got the reagent. I'm gonna get every reagent except that control cube from before. Just all the random bullshit I'm gonna grab, and then I'll have missed the control cube. The one that I really, really need. Ooh, okay, so save it up. We've got... what am I doing? Right, I was going to the inn to pick up food. We're gonna do that. Probably we're gonna be able to get a lot here.
Welcome, travelers. Our meals are second to
So
none.
that's 10 saves worth, which isn't too shabby. I think that'll be good for us. Okay, save it up. How much that? Okay. Right, yes, it's not like they're going to go back on shore anyway, so I might as well just fight from here. Okay, that one's toast. Yeah, I was worried that I was going to really struggle to make any progress. I'm so glad that I happened to get Silria durability right before this change was made. Like, it was just the previous stream that I swapped over to the Sword board for Silria, and it's super important that I did that. I had some idea that eventually the buff change was coming, but I did not realize the details of it. Like, I thought that the more passive buffs were going to be, no biggie, and I wasn't expecting preservation to be something that I struggled to maintain because I didn't know that the toggles were going to go down when you went unconscious. So, like, it's just very funny because it's like, oh shit, this is really dangerous. And it's like, oh well, actually, it's very dangerous, but you did happen to boost the durability on the character that can cast preservation right before this happened. So, I'm all set. I'm not going to be able to keep up preservation and all of my light magic at the same time. But I'll probably... be able to keep up preservation along with at least some other effects. Like, if I can keep up preservation and Day of the Gods, that'll be really nice. Ooh, we got a problem. Shit. I'm actually gonna pop over. Ooh, swapper. Fuck. If I hadn't gone in and had just gone straight to the roof like I should have, I think I could have killed the swapper there because I don't think they can hit me from the other places. So, if this swapper swaps themselves into there... Did they come out? They did. So I need to get back in. Ooh. No! This is gonna be rough, but I think we can do it. I want to get the swapper handled first, but I can also try to handle some of the other ones as well. Oh man, the fact that we've got two bosses here is really rough because these do have a pseudo AoE, like they have an attack that hits multiple times. So, luckily that one's swift, which means that it's probably. Oh, this one's swift. I can probably just move this one wherever I damn well please if it's swift, right? Alright, we're gonna start reducing the field here. Okay, we got that one down. Okay, got this one here. Please. Okay, we got her back up. She died. I think that she has enough endurance and mitigation that there's a pretty decent chance that she doesn't outright die unless she's getting hit by like a really powerful enemy. So where are you? You're the swapper. It immediately dropped down. Lame. Alright. I'm gonna go over here, I guess. I think I'm probably just gonna get wiped here. Whoa, 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 we just got swapped. On the plus side, we do have the ability to swap the swapper onto the island. So the swapper... Actually, the swapper and the swift can both be killed on land so that I can loot them, which is amazing. That's going to be a huge boon for me. So we can do that. That's the swapper, so we need to preferably dodge its attacks until... Is that the swift one? Yeah, that's the swift one. It's also tempting to like swap it onto the roof. But it looks like it's just gonna walk off the roof, so. Oh, that was the swapper. Shit. I wasn't paying enough attention. I thought that was the swift. Alright, it just swapped with the sprite, which is now paralyzed. Fuck. Double tag. Alright, I think we might be mostly okay here, actually. I'd like to figure out how to, like, encourage them to go where I want them to go. I think that I should probably invest the energy into clearing the ads first. I think that will make my life a lot easier. The swapper just swapped me over there. Okay. That epic dodge. And you are still at full. We have a nearly dead sprite there. I'm going to clear out this water elemental here. The more of the top tiers at the very least that I take out, the better for me. And I'm going to try, I think I'm going to try for the swift one soon. I might want to just do it now. Okay. Let's save. I think going for the swift one now is a mistake. There's 2 sprites here as well. Yeah, I can't get it onto the land from there. I need you all to rotate more. If they rotate enough, then I won't have to worry about the others attacking me while I deal with them. I'm drowning. Don't want to do that. Whoa! Whoa! Got that crafting sapphire. Let's go. Okay. I'm gonna just dive. I think. I'm not gonna just dive. Change my mind. It's don't like the fact they're heading toward another group of enemies, honestly. So let's get you to the island again, if possible. I'm just going to dive this, and we're going to try to burn it down. If it hits us with that, there's a decent chance that we just get, like, gibbed instantly. I'm going to pull out. Okay. Oh? Interesting. Can I hit you from here? Oh my god! Let's go. Are we gonna kill this thing this way? No. We're actually now in the green. We actually paralyzed it through the floor, so... That was very funny. Just randomly decided to be kind to me. Okay, we got a shield. What do we need a shield for? Shields are garbage, am I right? And let's see, this shield is actually not something that I care about. I guess I wouldn't care about most shield, considering that I have 2 legendary shields right now. Okay, that's done.
We don't need this.
Don't need that. Don't need that.
This is nice.
Don't need that. Don't need that.
Let's leave it behind.
That is a cell's mace. Alright, so now we just need to have you swap to me. And then walk onto the land. You can't walk back on the land. Shit. I'm gonna get this thing moved a bit. Is this okay? This might be a safe-ish location. I'm gonna just try to just get it to hit me here. Oh, never mind. This is bad. This is a bad location for it to be, I guess. You know what? It's fine. Those aren't gonna attack me. This is gonna be fine. Did we get the parrot? We got the parrot. Easy game, easy life. We've cleared out the water elementals, and with this, that means that we can swap up our buffs. I guess we don't need to necessarily. It depends on what things are over there. It's fire resistance, water resistance, it's all good and dandy.
Worthy.
You know, it's not terrible.
Won't fit.
You know, it's just a bow of darkness. No biggie. Okay. And it looks like we do have a shit ton of wyverns over here, which I was curious about. I couldn't remember what the enemies over here was. I thought that they were wyverns, but I was like, is it devils or wyverns over here? We now have our answer. Alright, let's save the game. Then we can plop down over here. Hopefully fight this one first. Let's see.
Kill me!
Okay, we're gonna try to burn through these straight, which I guess oh yeah, right. I'm like worried about, oh, you're weak. I've been worried about, just getting gibbed by these on Cortal, but Cortal isn't keeping the preservation up, so we're actually fine. We're not vulnerable to instant death on anybody. Unless something also has item break, because I actually don't have my death and eradication item in hardened on Ashkor. So Ashkor could, in theory, get taken down by that. So I think what we're gonna do is I think I'm going to itemize Silria for durability, and we're going to hope that we can get some damage over time as well, but I'm not really worried about it. I'm not that concerned. Okay, I'd like for you to split up a little bit. So the horned wyvern is almost dead. Some of what we're doing right now is fishing. Because if we can get a para on one of these ancients, then it's over. Looks like we got that one down, and these are still too healthy to just stand and melee with them, so we're just gonna keep guiding them. I think we're okay to. There we go. Whew, all good. So I think we're gonna be okay here. I'm curious about the demon dungeon. The demon dungeon is dangerous. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's a dangerous dungeon, and if it goes the way that I expect to go, I think we'll probably be mostly okay. But it's not gonna be trivial.
I'm not dead yet.
That's a problem. That's a problem. That's a pretty big issue. The person who does 0 damage is the only one alive. Uh-oh. Okay. So I can't believe that we just lost a pissing contest with an ancient wyvern. Like, considering how well we were doing before, like, it's very funny. Like, we just lost the pissing contest twice. Technically, we didn't lose the pissing contest completely there. That was partially just RNG about, like, bad timing on getting the hit. But, like, the first time we literally went from 100% to dead against a single ancient wyvern, which is actually very funny. I should be kiting it, but I didn't want to because it was just like a pain in the ass to get it all the way down to here where I can actually do it. So basically, like, it has to hit Kortal and then follow up hitting Kortal with immediately tagging Silria in order to do the combo that it did there. Because if it hits anybody else, there's enough HP in the party. But, like, Kortal is so squishy. Look, Kortal has 4900 max HP! Oh my god. Buddy, 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 please. Okay.
I'm not dead yet.
Okay, the ancient is down, so we should be fine. Whew. Okay, so mission successful, moving on with our lives. So it's 10:35. Yeah, I think we'll be able to finish up Avley here without too much pain and misery. But I don't know, like it really does depend on how difficult this next dungeon is. I don't remember that much about the dungeon. I just remember having a lot of difficulty with the initial room. And I don't remember much else other than that. I don't even remember the layout of the dungeon. I just remember the difficulties that I have in the initial room. So we'll just have to see how bad it is. It might also just not end up being that difficult by comparison to the other shit that I've been dealing with, you know? We'll just have to see. Okay, we have a fairly decent-sized pack here. That's Herod. If it was the Ancient, I'd be more willing to try to get into a pissing contest with the others over it. But paralyzing that one just means that it's out of the pool for now. Because I cannot.
Who wants some?
I just, for the 1 second that it's over the water, that's the moment that I get the kill. Well played. Okay, just drop that sucker right in the lake. No, I didn't need that loot. It's fine. My builds are basically done, right? Okay, we have 2 ancients, and it looks like it's just the 2 ancients actually. Ooh, that's concerning. We're in deep shit right now. Been fucking up my timing badly. Okay. Whew, that was spooky. That was quite spooky. I wonder if I I could make some good use out of those shared life rings, because I just unlocked a bunch of ring slots. I'm wondering if a shared life ring between Silria and Korgrick might be an interesting idea. I think probably not. Because I don't want Korgrick being automatically like brought from really low. I want Korgrick to get that additional healing into the party. So, yeah. Because, yeah, Silria has so much HP now compared to everybody else. Would make sense. If I... Though one element of this that I should consider... I'm really in trouble here. Alright, there we go. Didn't realize there was another giant drop there. I could probably do Kortal and Korgrick, because if I do Kortal and Korgrick, it's not like Kortal is going to fuel Korgrick's HP pretty much at all, right? So that will, I think I'm going to do that. So I think we might need a grain though. Do I need all of these? I'm going to drop this one for now in favor of one of those shared life rings, which I have 2 of. And if I can get, what is it? I think it looks like these, maybe? I think it looks like a simple bronze ring or something.
Jump.
Because if I could equip the shared life rings between those two, then, yes, here's one of them. So let's put this one on you. Looks like that kind. Wait, we have a bunch of them. Why do we have so many? Wait, we could equip one on everybody. When did we get this many? I thought we only had 2. Let's see what happens if we equip this on every character, actually. You already have one. Let's see. Well, the difference is that if I have this on everybody, then I don't need to manually cast the spell, which saves me action economy for doing other things. So I'm curious to see what it looks like if we just have this continuously going, right? Versus having like fairly infrequent, given the speed of the gameplay. Looks like it doesn't pick people up from unconsciousness, but it'll give just periodic ticks of this. We're gonna see what it feels like playing with 5 of these. Most likely, I'm not going to end up using all 5. but normalizing the HB values between all these characters can potentially be very valuable under certain circumstances. Even
lies ahead?
even though shared life is obviously great, it's better to be able to get a life steal off than to be forced to cast a much weaker heal through shared life. If I have the ability to normalize my HP. We'll see how it goes. The disadvantage, of course, is that it limits your ability to control it. I think this was a mistake. That wasn't how I should have done this. I should have gone straight to the elevator. Alright. I don't know how difficult these are going to be. So we have a couple in this initial room here. They seem to just be confused, so we're fine for now. They're level 269. They have access to Incinerate and Meteor Shower. Okay. That is a lot of enemies chilling out there. The second that those idiots out there get their shit together and start walking in, I am in deep shit. Do you have normal melee attacks? Is that what you have? Yeah. So they have normal physical attacks. I don't need... I didn't cast that. I had a different thing cast.
Useless.
Okay. My guess is that I'm probably going to die instantly because I'm doing this. But it's possible that this works out fine for us. We'll just have to see. Okay. Okay, this is working out better than I'd expect. It looks like the map has the completion on it now, which is interesting. Oh boy. That's spooky. Okay, so we just released a bunch of enemies that can now get back in position to start beating the shit out of us with fireballs. I think we'll be okay though. It looks like the way they behave here is safe for me, pretty much. So this is probably not going to be too big of an issue. It's very cool being able to see on the map what your percentage is. And if we're as far in the corner as we can get, we're safe from the Devil Warriors that are in the corner here. But they will periodically get released. This one I can hit from here, so we're just going to clear this one out. We actually can fight multiple from here, so we're going to clear these. Okay, these are cleared. Never mind, we have another one that walked in. We're at 20% completion. Okay, double tap this down. And when we get... When we get this dungeon completed, I believe we'll have everything ready for we're heading to the next place.
There's something.
It's interesting because it says attack. It's a physical attack. These are actually pure ranged attackers in this. They're using a firebolt spell that appears to be physical damage, despite the fact that they're clearly launching a firebolt at you. I'm almost positive that those are not them casting their actual spells. So, if it seems weird that we're able to like sit on these corners with these devils, the reason is because they don't have the mixed melee and range they do in 6. So these are much weaker in terms of their actual. They're less versatile in their attack types. So once we've cleared Avley, we're going to need to go train Shield. We're going to need to go train Enlightenment. And do a bunch of other fun stuff.
Ooh.
We're basically going to do some itemization and other stuff. So these aren't actually pits of lava, so this is fine. I could save now if I wanted to, and I don't. I think because I have enough food that I could just save, like actually make usage of the thing. But let's see here. Because I could have just dropped down to the appropriate level, but that would have made way too much sense. Okay, let's keep an eye out for enemies. Go. We have Clerics of Claw, Priest of Claw. I'm not gonna just chill here. We're gonna leave. Ooh, that's interesting. I'm not sure why my HP just plummeted. My guess would be something to do with this ring that I've got on. Shit. And they are climbing up at me. This kind of terrain is not optimal for me. But if they're climbing up at me, I can probably just use this corner to kill them. At the very least, some of them? Maybe not. Maybe? Is that one of the lower ones? That's at a lower curve. Alright. Those two seem to have gotten themselves stuck, question mark. Alright. I'm gonna burst through you. Except I'm apparently not gonna burst through you. Are you paralyzed? No. That stone face, non-blinking, gaze at me was like, wait a second.
That's no.
Okay, I think we're fine for now. I think it is very valuable to have the shared life outside the action economy. Is it worth like 5 inventory slots for it? I don't think so. Also, I think that some of the it might actually be like it might actually be. We'll find out over time. But either way, whew, boy. I think you can hit me from there, but I'm not positive. Alright, we're fine, I think? Okay, we got the Cardinal. That was spooky. So we have some devils here. Nothing too interesting. Yeah, our concerns now are very different than our concerns were before, because now our concerns are just slowly going down. Luckily, we're not dealing with anything too difficult, because I think that if we were having to deal with the exploders that were just insta-giving my entire party, basically, if we were having to deal with them now, and like at this moment before we're able to get our enlightenment stuff up, before we're able to really like lock in a new gear setup for my party, which I guess I could do now, but which I don't really desire to do at this exact moment. I'd prefer to wait a bit. Let's see. Okay, Priest of Baal on its own. There's concern that this thing is going to just like kill me, but I guess it got paralyzed, so I don't have to worry about it.
No problem.
What level are you? 247. So these are not that high level, but they do have some potentially dangerous spells. Okay, that's at 50%. Oh, strap metal. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna need to play safer than that.
Doesn't look too
Alright.
dangerous.
Let's aggro everything so that we are pulling them all. They don't seem to be able to handle this elevator at all. The elevator seems to be like a hard counter to them because for whatever reason they just can't handle this room. So we're totally chill to just drop down, activate the elevator, and then just go back down on the elevator. Let's see here. This will clear out a good portion of the enemies. And I think I'm going to try to get in the green before I save. I don't have to. I have 20 food, so I'm not, like, there's nothing requiring me to do this in a dumb way instead of a smart way. I shouldn't have gone in this side, honestly, because I didn't... It's entirely possible that that side doesn't work as well. And that ended badly for me. I think what happened there was not that side was bad for me, though. I'm almost positive that it wasn't tied to which side I jumped down. I think that I went too deep into the corner, so I was just letting them leak in because I was just in the wrong spot. I would give about 100% odds on that. Hey Ash, sounds like a plan. We will slay all who dare to oppose us. It will be glorious. Ugh. Okay, so we've got a couple enemies here, and I am going to dive into that corner, I think. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to just go to the same spot again and see if it works. But yeah, I think what ended up happening was I was on this side, so you can't actually see exactly, but I'm pretty sure I actually went all the way into the back here instead of going to here, which is where I was the previous time. And if you're too far away from the enemies, they'll rotate in ways that you don't want them to. So I'm pretty sure that that's what happened. I don't think I just got lucky the first time. I think that, well, maybe. This is an issue. This is a concern. We have one in the room with us, and we have others casting fireballs. So the fireball casters are a problem, as can be seen. If I can get myself through the fireball users, I think I'm safe. The toxic cloud tags Silria. But yeah, so the initial bit here is going to be a bit dangerous, which is really quite unfortunate, actually. I guess I don't have to aggro them preemptively. I just kind of prefer to aggro them preemptively because it makes it more clear what's going to happen. So they're actually behaving very strangely this time compared to last time, but that's okay. We're going to just dive into that corner immediately and hold there. We'll see how things go. We're getting tagged from out there, which I do not like. They are not behaving normally, which is a concern. It's really unfortunate that that enemy tagged Celery at that exact moment, because if they hadn't tagged Celery at that exact moment, I would have been fine. Okay, the AoEs can still come in. I'm pretty sure they're all here. So, weirdly enough, we only have to worry about the tier 2 enemies. We don't need to worry about the tier 3s.
He's toast.
It is defeated.
Because the tier 3s can't hit us with their spells, but the warriors use fireballs. So, unfortunately, also, this is going to be a much weaker pack. It's going to represent a smaller proportion of the overall clearance rate. I think I got close to 40% off of this initial pack in my first entry. And we're going to get closer to like 15, maybe 20 this time, I think. So let's, with that being the case, that changes how we want to approach this initial entry by a considerable margin. So the previous time I was basically looking to just get the next, get myself up to about 55% or whatever it is that I need. Just get completion done. But this time, I don't need to get completion done. What I need to do is I need to clear out a place to... I didn't even check. I didn't even check. Okay. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Why would it be fine? I didn't even check. Book. Okay. I was like, there's no shot that these things are far enough away. Paying no attention to the fact that there's a huge elevation difference between where I'm going and where I'm coming from.
Let's take it.
Oh man, that shrapnel is a problem. That shrapnel is a problem, y'all. We need to... I'm gonna go this way instead. I'd like to get to an actual like door. There we go. Oh, this is shit. Okay, this is technically a doorway, but it is a open doorway that they can just walk into. Right, that one's actually parried, so we can ignore it for now. We're gonna kill this one, and now we can burn this one down. Then this one is locked in this corner, hopefully permanently. Burn through this one. I can't believe I didn't even check. God, that's embarrassing. That's so embarrassing. We fucking had it. Alright. It's fine. It's fine. It's all good. It's all fine. Okay. So we're 25%. We've cleared this room.
Useless. That's no good.
And what I'm looking to do basically is to come through the other direction. So that I can basically have a nice convenient corner for when I'm dealing with the shrapnel users in that hallway. Who are you? Okay, you are a shrapnel user, so you're infinitely more important than your friend there. Okay. The other thing that's nice about this is that, like, preservation is a thing that you usually have to be constantly, like, worried about it wearing off, and you have to, like, be like, oh no, it's going to wear off any moment. Having it wear off if the person who cast it goes down is a much more, like, coherent, like, okay, this is the thing that I'm worried about, is this element of danger that I can mitigate, as opposed to it being more of, like, just a busy work thing, where, like, if you just don't pay attention for a while, you just spontaneously have it go down. Yeah. It's because the toggles go off and on. So Torchlight is basically going off when Cortal goes unconscious, and then comes back on when he regains consciousness. It's pretty cool. I don't know. I think that the change is a really interesting one. The change to the toggle system. I get, like, buffs in this game have always been very important, but they're not necessarily super satisfying to use. As you get further into the game, it really becomes... I mean, I think to a degree, like, there's more interesting stuff to do with them earlier, so I would feel comfortable saying later in the game, as opposed to just generically. Like, later in the game, they become kind of like a busy work thing, and then even later in the game, they mostly stop being a busy work thing because they kind of just stop being a thing at all. Like, you're just not considering buffs at all in your moment-to-moment gameplay because you cast them and then they last for, like, the next 3 hours of real time. And making it so that the buffs go down and go up and stuff like that when a character goes down, making it so that you have to actually think about how you are rationing your mana bar, all that kind of stuff. I think adds like an element of. It basically makes it so that they are more of a gameplay mechanic than they really were before, as opposed to just being kind of like a fully passive effect that occasionally doesn't work because you forgot to do some maintenance thing 15 minutes ago, right? Like, it's also interesting having, like, increases to your fire skill meaningfully increase your the actual value that you get out of haste, as opposed to it basically just not affecting the throughput at all and just improving the duration. I think that's kind of interesting. Because in vanilla, there's some buffs
That's no good.
that
Word.
don't have like binary effects really. Like haste isn't a binary effect, but which have binary application, right? Like in practice, the spell itself is binary, even though the effect that it has is a modification to a non-binary statistic, right? So it's like, okay, 30 recovery. Whether it's on or off is fully binary, but like it could have been
Useless.
something that grows over time, and it just isn't, right? Immune to sleep and swift. Swift is an interesting
No room.
thing
There's no
that
room.
might
Won't fit.
I
end
can't
up
carry
being
it anymore.
valuable for me at some point.
It won't fit.
My guess is I'm probably not going to be needing this,
I don't know it.
but we hypothetically could. Worst possible inventory to put that in. Oh shit! The game just crashed. The inventory boss. Catches another victim. Let's see here. Ooh, we are going to have to actually go full task manager with it. Alright. Rough. Let's see. It's been a while since I saved, hasn't it? Probably not that much. I think it's just like the one room or something, so it's probably fine. Yeah, I think it's probably just this room. So many priests. The one that keeps rotating back and forth is going to cause problems for us. That thing has the ability to just blast us with a shrapnel at any point, and just obliterate us. Like, we've established how deadly shrapnel is. And it can hit me from here. Ooh boy. That is shrapnel, right?
Worthy opponent.
Is that Spirit Lash? Wait, what? Is that actually Spirit Lash? Do they have an AoE Spirit Lash? Oh my god. I'm boned. Oh, jeez, there's one behind me. That I was wondering how they were hitting me from. I was like, I don't feel like these should be hitting me from here. And then I turn around. Oh, hi. The one that got out actually rotated all the way around and back behind me, and I didn't notice because I stopped paying attention to it once it got out of my line of sight. I saw it get into this room and didn't think about it ever again. And it just walked all the way up to me from behind. Okay, we have 3 of them that are going to do that same bullshit. But, unfortunately for them, that means that there's only 2 in this room. And they're both stuck behind this bed, so... All set. Let's clear the others. Wow, they are really kind of all over the place here. Right, I'm gonna just dive this. If they don't use Spirit Lash, we're fine. If they do use Spirit Lash, I'm in deep shit, because that does so much damage. I wonder what type of damage Spirit Lash is doing. We got the parrot. Okay, there were 2 here, I think, right? There weren't. Okay. We're all set. Oh, there were two. It's just that the other one were too bad. Okay. Fine. This is a bad idea. But as long as you make a note that it's a bad idea, it stops being a bad idea, you see. People can't complain about you doing bad things if you acknowledge that they're bad first. It's like, oh no, this is a bad idea. But I said so. I believe we call that lampshading? I think that's the correct term. Like when a media franchise does a thing, but then like does a trope, and then like acknowledges the fact that they did the trope. I think that's called lampshading. Like it didn't mean that you didn't do the trope. You just lampshaded the trope. So
Useless.
Oh, there's no room. Great.
Oh, did I not put it in this inventory?
It might be useful.
It won't be though. Okay.
That's no good.
I think we've looted all the other ones here already as
That's
well. I don't think we're gonna run into anything crazy over here. I think that we were on the last
That's no good.
chest.
Worthy.
So I guess we could save now. I'm a little bit concerned about this. It's so funny, like the percentages. The fuck is that? A spider? I forgot the spiders were in this dungeon. That's so funny. Like, what the hell is that? I didn't even recognize it from just its feet. It just looks so weird. How much HP do you have? Holy shit. These are the weakest tier of spider. What are they surviving so long for? Okay. We're gonna rotate over to the other side again. Because I think that room is like basically like the end room. So I want to go over here and clear out these first with the hopes that maybe this will be an easier carry. I'm actually really looking forward to finishing Avli and just going crazy on my my Silria build. Because Silria has been in a position of like useful because they were providing really good buffs, but also useful because they're casting whatchamacallit, shared life, like as a backup, but has actually really been struggling to like feel impactful in the way that the other characters do. Like Ash and Severia obviously are both really quite tanky, with Severia being a little tankier, and also very damaging. And for a while, Severia was both tanky and damaging relative to Ash, and now I believe Ash is still going completely ham. Though we do have less we have less buffs now. So I imagine that the relative power between the two of them is probably closed a bit. It hasn't. Like, Ash is still doing 50% of the damage. I don't know what happened, but it's really funny and really cool. Like, what are these damage values? Holy shit. Oh, we have a problem. I'm gonna pull over here. Nope, I should pull further.
Could be worse.
It could be. It probably will be soon. Called it! Could be worse. Probably will be. Let's see here. Okay, there's a lot of spiders in this room, and those spiders are way scarier than I anticipated. GG. So anyway, so it's going to be interesting having Silria take on the role of dedicated survivor. I think that's kind of a funny like setup where it's like until now it's really been everything's been about trying to either keep Cortal up or get Cortal up very quickly. With Silria being very distinctly like a backup healer, not like a primary healer. And what's going to be interesting here is the transition to, like, as long as Silria's up, we're safe-ish, but it's the second that Silria goes down, we lose preservation, and like all bets are off. Like the shit has well and truly hit the fan the second that she goes down, we probably lose. So it's like there's like a loss condition directly tied into Silria going unconscious that didn't used to exist. So it changes the dynamic of how we have to keep the designated survivor surviving. Because we can't just be like, okay, well, as long as we get them back up quickly, it's okay. It's not. It's only okay for them to explicitly survive. They might be able to come back up if they get knocked unconscious, but they also might not be able to. It depends on the relative power of the thing that's hitting us. And okay. I don't want to move back, because if I move back, they're just going to follow me. Weirdly, I'm pretty sure I was closer to them there, and they were not hitting me, whereas before they were. But so whatever the hell was going on there. But it does seem like they're getting stuck here, but not consistently, because this Widowmaker is right in my face, so clearly they're not going to get consistently stuck. But also because we died not near here because one of them leaked and killed us. So I don't know what causes them to get stuck. It's not consistent, but it's consistent enough to give us a shot. An opportunity. A Madre's spaghetti, one might say. A relative's noodles. Yes, I am currently using the most up-to-date. Those fireballs are scary. So yes, I am currently using the most up-to-date patch. So we're currently sitting on, I believe, Day of Protection, Preservation, Regeneration, and Bless as like the only effects that we have active. We don't have access to anywhere near all of them. We'll have access to more effects once we finish Avli, because there doesn't appear to be an apothecary here, so I can't actually train the enlightenment skill yet. Because that's just the life where we live. I've got like a bottle of soda just sitting between my legs. It's been working out fine. I was worried that it was going to that I was going to struggle to deal with like the preservation effect, but actually preservation hasn't been that big of an issue. It's basically given me a loss condition on Silria going down. But Silria, we dedicated a huge amount of investment last week into getting her like massively more durable. So we're actually okay. At first we were trying to use Cortal for preservation so we could use some more meteor buffs with Silria. But that was a non-starter. We absolutely need to have preservation on the person who's able to survive. And even then, it's still extremely dangerous. And I think... Have we made enough progress in here? Yeah, we've made enough progress in here. I'm going to go save. Let's see. I don't know if Ascension... I don't think Ascension affects the cost of reserving the thing. There is Enlightenment, which has some sort of interaction with it. But as far as I can tell, the expectation is that unless you have a caster-heavy party, you're probably not going to be using all of the buffs that you have at your disposal, and you're going to have to be very choosy about what you're picking to cast. So, but yeah, the basic gist is that the costs of it, the reservation costs of it, are based off of your base SP pool. So you can think of a base SP pool of 1 being the default, right? So like a base SP pool of 1 per level, that is, right? So the base SP gain of your class determines, and then if you have if you have an SP gain of 2, the reservation requirements are halved. If you have an SP gain of 3, it's a third. If you have an SP gain of 4, it's a quarter, right? So dedicated spellcasters have a multiplier on how many buffs they can cast and how much of a thing they have for it, right? So as a result of that, I would imagine if you have like a couple of dedicated spellcasters that are reasonably high tier, I don't think it's going to be a huge problem to maintain a lot of buffs, because like I'm currently with, so Portal has a base SP gain of 1, right? So with a base SP gain of 1, it's very difficult for me to maintain anything, right? Like maintaining any buffs on Cortal is really a struggle. Like preservation is 60% mana reserved, but even on this character, it's only 40% for preservation, and Silria is basically not even a caster, right? So I believe that the costs are probably fairly reasonable as long as you have like casters in the group, and it depends also on how many casters you have. So like as an example, like I've been casting regeneration with Kortal because Kortal has like slightly higher body, but and because of itemization, right? But I can just cast regeneration with my Death Knight instead, right? So by casting it with Severia instead, I'm not utilizing this mana pool to do that. So like I think that it encourages like thinking about like which characters are going to maintain which buffs and stuff like that. And we'll see. I am a little bit curious to see if, because my initial impression of how the system was going to work was that buffs like the basic resistance buffs and the basic stat buffs were not going to be a part of this system, and we're just going to be like working the old way, which meant that like functionally they become passive at high level, right? I guess not even just like basically passive. They literally become passive at high level, right? Where you don't need to cast them anymore. And the passive system seems to have been removed entirely. So I'm curious if, like, the thing that I think has the most potential to be like just sort of changed because it like isn't worth it, basically, is I could easily see either basically having GM reduce the cost of like the resistance buffs to be like a trivially low cost, or basically making them passive again. And I could see that being a thing that ends up being done, depending on how things work. I actually don't mind the. I think that it makes a degree of sense to do the change in the most aggressive possible fashion first, where you're just like, okay, like every buff is now tied into this system. And then you go, and then over time you go, okay, which of these buffs shouldn't be tied into the system? As opposed to trying to guess which buffs belong in the system in advance before you've done any playtesting. I kind of like the idea of just going crazy with it. In terms of whether things are harder or not, I don't actually think that they're really that much more difficult for me right now. I think that if I was... I just finished the Titan Stronghold, and I honestly don't feel like the relative difficulty has actually increased compared to when I was fighting like wyverns and stuff like that outside before. I actually feel like I'm at roughly the same level of power with substantially fewer buffs cast than I had before. And I could easily be wrong in that. I could be wrong. But that's kind of the impression that I have so far. And I'm surprised by it. That was not my expectation. I was expecting that I was going to be having some major difficulties with today's stream. I was thinking things were going to be really, really hard, especially when I found out that preservation is not maintained if the person who cast it goes unconscious. I was very, very concerned about that. But honestly, it hasn't really changed that much for me, I think. Overall, things feel pretty similar. Like, oh shit. There's the lost conditions in Silria going down, right? That were just not there before. So, like, in some contexts, things have gotten harder. But I don't know. I don't feel like I've lost that much in terms of my throughput, despite the fact that I don't have Hour of Power active. Like I don't really feel weak right now in the way that I was expecting to feel weak. Currently I don't have Day of the Gods, which didn't matter before because I was getting the passive boosts to all my stats. I'm not getting the passive boost. I don't have the passive, and I don't have Day of the Gods active. I just have Day of Protection active. I don't have Hour of Power active. Like, I don't have any of the buffs that, like, ostensibly should be making me, like, crazy and out of control. But I still feel fine. Again, like, not expected. I was expecting today to be a really hard day. Like, lots of, like, extreme pain. But it just hasn't really panned out that way. I've been very surprised. Which is a good sign for the run that I imagine that for my party, which is to a large degree very buff dependent, I think that my party is going to be stronger overall. My party is very dependent on buffs. A lot of my skill points have gone into investing into making the buffs as good as they can be.
I have too much.
And I think that that's going to pay larger dividends now than it did before the change, once I have the ability to cast more of the buffs. For now, I think that I'm kind of breaking even. There's also been some other changes that help me somewhat. I have a bit more like survivability overall because there's been a change to regeneration that increases regeneration effect by 1% per 1% of HP lost, which is apparently like this is actually an exponential effect. So basically, if I'm at 0% HP, I'll have double the regen. If I'm at negative 100%, I'll have quadruple the regen. So Corbric's going to be able to come back from unconsciousness much faster and come back from low HP dramatically faster, which increases my overall healing throughput for the party as well. So there's been
That's no good. I don't know.
a boost there that I think is very, very welcome and very much leans into the thing that makes regeneration interesting compared to lifesteal, where regeneration being usable while unconscious is a big deal. So making it more powerful the more unconscious you are, or the lower in HP you are generally, I think leans into the thing that makes it good compared to lifesteal. Because, you know, lifesteal has way more throughput generally than the regen. But regen has that advantage that it's because it's passive, because of the fact that you can use it while you're unconscious, while you're disengaging, all those kinds of things. The regeneration is better now for coming back from a bad position, which is something that lifesteal is particularly bad at. If you're in a bad position, lifesteal is very weak, because you are you're prone to getting knocked unconscious, and then if that person's unconscious, they're not lifestealing anymore, right? So, like, being in a bad position with lifesteal is a very bad position to be in. Being in a bad position with regen means, well, wait a few seconds and your position will be fine again. So, I think we finished Avli, right? So, we still have an hour and some change. We can get over to... Yeah, I think we just need to cast a beacon here. I don't know if we have one already. We don't have a beacon here already. We lost our beacon somewhere. Anyway, as a change, it is the kind of thing that I think is going to make buffs more of a mechanic than they have been in the past, which I approve of. I think that buffs tend to kind of disappear and just be a passive bonus that occasionally you forget and then you lose your passive bonus once you get past a certain point. And I appreciate them being more of a mechanic that you have to think about, both in terms of like choosing which buffs you're going to have active at any given time, as well as just there's a big difference between your buffs going down when someone gets knocked out and them not going down when someone gets knocked out, right? And in addition, because of the fact, and this is I think a huge improvement, they come back up automatically because they're toggles. If you get reconscious, when you come back up, your buffs automatically come back up with you.
How are you?
Which is big. Interesting. So it's not the alchemist, it's the
Can I help you with anything?
in Her Majesty's magics. So enlightenment on both of these characters,
Come again.
and we can see what it does. Let's take a look at this tooltip. This is considered a magic skill. Does this get its cost reduced by the other things? Interesting. So the cost of visor is increased by 2. Interesting. So this will allow us to cast 3 times as many buffs, I believe, with Kortal. Let's take a look at what yours is. You also have access to Grand Mastery of this. Interesting. I was not expecting that Silria would have access to GM for this. I thought they'd get maybe Expert. So let's pump Enlightenment up to 20. We can't pump it all the way to 20 unless we... do some shenanigans. I guess I could level. Do I have any quests to turn in? Yes, I should, right? We just finished Avli, which means that we should have the fairy pipes done. Do we have 3 paintings? We do not. Stonehenge, Tatalia, Evanmorn. We haven't gone to Evanmorn. Yeah, with extra... So basically with the extra points into Enlightenment, you have the ability to get yourself a bit more on board. I think I am actually going to TP. No, I'm going to go back to Avli, and we're going to train here. We can only get like a level. Oh, can you get 2 levels? I think you can, right? With 2 levels, I think Korgrick can get regen up a point. So we're going to save before we do this and check. If I can't get Korgrick up a point, I don't think of... Oh, did I turn in the... I didn't turn in the pipes, did I? Let's turn in the pipes. This isn't the pipes, is it? No, the pipes are in Tuleria. Right? Tuleria. Okay, so we are going to TP back to Tuleria. We also need to get the shield expert for Silria and then figure out where the master is and tag that immediately. So that's going to be a huge boost to Silria's survivability. Let's see here. Where am I going? Pipes. That is over. It's not, is it? I think this... I don't think they're both over here. I think this is just the Druid quest. Yeah, this is not the... Okay, so it's one of the people that's just sitting around. Where are my fairy pipes at? Probably already skipped over them. Who needs a fairy pipe when you have a pipe that actually works? Can you believe the fairy pipes don't work? Truly wild. Okay, there we go. Right, look at this shit. Fairy pipes can't be used in that way? Disgusting. Okay, you have expert dagger. You're the statuette person.
Greetings.
You're the hunter. Wait. Okay, gotcha. So we already completed that quest. We don't need to worry about you. Johan. Johan? I don't think that's how that's pronounced, but you know, I have never been more white than in this moment. I think it's Johan? I mean, look, maybe somewhere people pronounce it Johan. I don't think that's likely, though. Let's see here.
Practice makes perfect.
Actually, that's not... The whitest I could be is calling it Johan. I think that's as far as we could take that. Let's see here. Let's see. We're going to Avley. We're going to level up. And... let's see... I think after this, we're going to start up the Barrow Downs. Though we could do the other places first. We could do Bricata. We could do Deja if we wanted. I don't think I want to do Deja right now. Deja sounds like a nightmare, actually. Deja, more like nightmareja, am I right?
Practice
Okay.
makes well done.
We'll be here all week, folks.
Well done.
You have enough to get a point in regen, so you're getting a point in regen. Perfect. Okay. So, you have 59. You can get this to... isn't this supposed to go up at 20 to GM? Oh, it says grand now. Okay, perfect. So we've got that up to there. We can get this up to probably master right now, which we should. We're gonna get it all the way to master. We are not. Okay, gotcha. It doesn't update until the thing. So we're actually using horseshoes for the means that I normally use them, which is wild. This is just top up important skills that need topping up at appropriate timings. So we're going to have to wait a bit before we get shield all the way up. But... generally speaking, with regards to those kinds of dungeons, I generally only do them if there's some sort of way that I justify it to myself that it makes sense to do it. So my guess is probably not. Like, School of Sorcery is almost certainly a no. I don't think that I'm going to be doing the School of Sorcery. But other ones, I don't really know. Maybe. I'll do some of them, but not all of them. That's the way that I would describe it. I'm probably, because of the fact that I'm going light side, and that I would think that I'm probably not going to do a ton of the light side dungeons, because there isn't a real reason to. Like, there isn't like a factional dispute in the light side really. So there's not like, playing people against each other and stuff like that like goes on in the dark side. In the dark side you have all this weird shenaniganry where you have like explicit hostility between like multiple factions of the dark side. On the light side you have multiple factions, but they're not hostile to each other. They're not really doing anything. So the Halls of Mist, I will probably try to do without invisibility. I'll probably fail to do it without invisibility, but I'll probably try to do it without invisibility or fighting enemies. And I'm not planning on clearing it. Just because again, it like aesthetically goes against the vibe. So probably not going to clear Halls of Mist unless I have some strong reason to. The school I'm definitely not going to be doing because I just have no real reason to piss off the wizards. Like, there's not really a reason to. There's no justification there. And Celeste Castle. Again, if I was going dark side, doing like the Malwick quest, I think makes a lot of sense. On light side, I feel like the aesthetic fits better to not do it. So because I'm going light side, I'm not going to be doing the Malwick quest, which I also didn't pick up. So, which I should have because then I could deal with the invasion thing happening, which would have been cool. But oh well. I should have done that just to get that event. Though who knows? Maybe I can. Can I go? Wait. Can I just do that? Can I just? Wait a second. Wait. Can I just talk to Mr. Malwick now?
Greetings to you.
Oh, what do you mean we don't have anything to talk about? You could still give me a thing. You could still give me a thing. Come on, give me your pitch, Malwick. I want to hear your pitch. Sell me on this fireball wand that you're going to give to me. Don't horseshit. Insanity. What is wrong with this guy? Expert Shield is an Alvar. And Alvar is Tularian Forest, I think. So we just go back to Tularian Forest. I've had a suspicion that there might be an expert here for this, weirdly enough. Like, it felt kind of off-brand, but I also felt like it was a thing. Don't think it's any of these people. It's definitely not Johann. Expert Chain. Master Spear. Expert Bow. GM Leather. This is merchant, right? Yeah. Let's see. Wait, where is this person? I guess they might be downstairs. This is the elemental casters, right? Yeah, this is the elemental people, so it's not going to be here. Wait, is Alvar? Is Alvar the name of this town? Bunch of GM up here. maximum weather. Killian Moore is in the city of Alvar. I'm gonna TP to Arathia because I feel like Arathia should have this as well. There should be two, I think. The thing that's weird is that if I have it on my Expert Shield, I think there's one over here, unless this is the Master. If this is Master, that's fine, because I don't think it's GM, but there's someone over in this set of cottages that I think has Expert Shield. It might be Master though, which is also again fine. No problem with that. So this is make item, make armor. Temporary body resistance. Lord Marco. Okay, there's the Expert Shield Trainer. So we're at 18,000 vitality right now. Do we have our buffs cast? So currently, with our current buffs, we have 18,000. Which is fine. I'm going to save this under danger, just so we can reference back to this. So we're going to pick up Expert Shield, and we're at 200,000. Perfect. Where is your master? Tatalia. Perfect. We've already got that cleared. So we can pop over to Tatalia. We can pick up Mastery. We don't need to go back to a different continent just to get Master Shield. We unfortunately can't get GM Shield, but Master Shield is pretty good. It is a fairly huge boost to get Master Shield. Alright. So, we now have 240,000. So that's about a 30-some% increase to our total durability just from getting our Mastery up. And we are going to probably put more points in. The thing is that this gives a huge amount of AC and resists from the shield itself. I think it's probably worth it to invest pretty heavily into this, given how high the values are, particularly for the resists. Like, Celery isn't going to get that much in terms of resists from other effects, but we're looking at obscene resistances coming out from here, just from this shield. So the shield is going to be a big deal for us. It's going to make a big impact on our overall life. However, it's not necessarily the biggest thing that we have coming to us, because we just invested all these skill points to get ourselves up to GM on this character and Mastery here. So, in theory, we could do some really fun stuff. So, we can remove Day of Protection for now, which is going to reduce our overall resists by a pretty significant margin. But we can cast Hour of Power or Day of the Gods now. We can't cast both at the same time yet, but I think we might be able to eventually. We have 26% from Preservation. We can actually cast Hour of Power and Preservation now. But we can also cast Day of the Gods. I think I'd rather have Day of the Gods than anything else right now, because I think it's going to give me the biggest boost. So we're going to cast Day of the Gods. That gets us up to 21,000 from 180. So that is useful. We have 28% mana. Now, Kortal needs to check how much things cost. So Regen is going to cost 30% now, which we're not casting, but that's fine. We can actually use preservation with you if we want, but we don't want to. We can't really maintain that. That's not realistic. And we have the ability to dump other things instead. We've got Bless already. We could cast Heroism. Increases melee damage by 15%, plus 0.3% per skill level. That's a pretty crazy effect. Let's cast Heroism. We can also, hypothetically, can we cast Haste? We can't quite cast Haste. We're 29% right now. So what would we need to remove to get Haste active? What is it that you're casting? Like you don't. Oh, did I cast Shield? I have Shield active. Shield is very good, but it's not universally impactful. It doesn't affect physical damage. Let's cast these two. Let's take a look here. So we've got 60,000 listed DPS here. Absolutely massive changes to these values. So with this set of buffs, we're looking at, we have 28% to play with here as well. So we could hypothetically do some more work here. I love that it tells you whether it's active on another party member, by the way. Top tier. I love it. Let's see here. I think I'm gonna have Fate. I'm gonna tag Fate. And it's not optimal to be using these kinds of buffs with Silria because of the fact that Silria doesn't have a lot of investment into spirit, mind, or body. But that's fine. For that buff in particular, at the moment, it's actually capping 2 of my characters. So with 2 of these characters being capped anyway, jeez, look at these fucking values. It's wild. All right, we're gonna load to danger because I want to see in the danger file what our damage output on Ashcore looked like, because I'm just curious. So we're loading danger, and with the buffs that we have set up here, this is the basic stuff that we had from before. This is our previous mana setup. We have 28,000. So we're more than doubling the listed damage for Ashcore. That's pretty wild. That's a pretty big deal. So in theory, those are the values that we were clearing through the place with as well. So if we go to Bracada Desert, there's the School of Sorcery there that we're not clearing because it's not hostile to us and won't be hostile. We don't have a reason to go in there. We have the other place. We have the Barrow Downs. I'm not sure if I want to do the Barrow Downs. The Barrow Downs are kind of tempting. It would be kind of fun to do the Barrow Downs. Like, do the Barrow Downs, do Bracada and Deja both when we're, like, doing that portion of the game. I don't know, that makes sense to me, to a large degree, actually. Yeah. Should we do Barrow Downs first? I think I want to do Barrow Downs first. Okay, so we're going to save this under whatever this place was called, Avely Done. Obviously, this is... Oh, Barrow Downs is not easier. You see, Barrow Downs has a direct line leading straight into Nyone and Land of the Giants. I'm planning on going through the entire route. We're going straight from Barrow Downs into Land of the Giants. We're clearing every dungeon in that sequence. Every dungeon we could get into in that sequence, anyway. That's the... Yeah. Barrow Downs has probably what's going to be one of the hardest dungeons for us to deal with, which is the house. The haunted house is actually an extremely difficult dungeon if everything is bolstered up, because the enemies inside, there's a lot of them. Whereas, like, Deja has one dungeon that's probably fairly difficult because it's full of, like, necromancers and shit. But which probably isn't going to be that... It's going to be crazy, actually. So Deja is going to be really hard. Bricata, though? Like, what's happening in Bricata? Bricata's fine. We are one day away from being able to go to the arena. God, we haven't gone to the arena, like, at all this run. It's very sad. Alright, what am I doing? We are TPing to Harmondale. Yeah, it's one of the things that I think is fun for my runs is making the decision of, like, okay, at what point does a thing stop being a dungeon of the Barrow Downs, right? Because I have to clear every dungeon, right? And so I, generally speaking, don't consider world maps dungeons. So if I was going to make an absolute rule on, like, what counts as a dungeon of Barrow Downs, probably everything counts as a dungeon of the Barrow Downs up until you reach an area that's an exterior world map. Because that's the rule based off of Might and Magic 6, right? Might and Magic 6, I don't treat Dragon Sand as a dungeon within New Sorkable, right? They're different world maps. So Nyone wouldn't be required, but the passage to the Land of the Giants would be, because there's a direct connective tissue within the dungeons all the way from Stone City, or sorry, not from Stone City. Stone City is the exterior map. From the Barrow Downs to Stone City to the mountain to the passage. All of those are connected via dungeon, which means they're all sub-dungeons within Barrow Downs. There are also sub-dungeons within Nyone and the other place, but I can't get to Nyone before I get to the Barrow Downs. So it's not relevant by that point because I would have had to clear them anyway. This does fly in the face of probably how I've done some of that in the past. But, you know, such is life. My buffs stay up when I travel. That is pretty cool. Other thing, I'm actually going to reload this because I forgot. We only have about an hour left. I'm gonna do some dicking around in my inventory, and we're gonna do some inventory management because it doesn't make sense for me to not optimize as much as I can since I'm going to be going into such a difficult set of circumstances. We have a bunch of crafting diamonds. These are the highest tier things that we're going to get, so we can make sure to utilize them to their full effect. Do I want to pump you? I do not know. I wonder if it would be better for my shield to have resists built in or armor, because I think those values might also get multiplied by this. I don't know that it's just the base value, so that would be, you know, pretty cool. Okay, so we need to look at our gearing. Do I want to invest the cycle of life? It doesn't bring me back from unconsciousness. Okay, Do I have any control cubes? I have at least one. 224, I'm 242. Let's go ahead and use this on your primary weapon, which is also your only weapon. I think that's going to be the most cost-effective usage of my control cubes, even though Ash is doing the most damage right now. It might actually be more cost-effective to invest into one of Ash's weapons, but I'm not trying to maximize how much Ash is beating the rest of the party in terms of damage. I am trying to make everybody functional. So
We could sell it.
it is very funny. I was fully not intending
Worthless.
to like turn Ash into a hard carry. That wasn't really the goal of my behavior up till now, but that's what we got. Alright, so this is a legendary Captain's Cutlass of Darkness. I think these are maxed out. I think these have the maximum amount of endurance and accuracy on them. I think I maxed those out with diamonds before I copied it. We're going to make another one of those probably, if we can make a copy. And 180. Whew, these are some beautiful boots. Beautiful, beautiful boots. These are cloak. It's a legendary of some sort. And endurance and speed, which are both fine stats. Do I want to invest further into bringing you to absolutely insane levels of durability? My helmet is mediocre. Do I have any bad rings, or do I just have mediocre rings? Doesn't make sense to have both luck and personality here. And honestly, this character has so much resist. Oh, but this person does have the cover ring. Like, this makes sense to hold on to. I'm going to swap this to here. Wrong character. I think I'm going to remove this. I don't need
There's no room.
the boosts to my mana pool anymore because I've now got the Enlightenment. The Enlightenment skill is going to give me a huge boost to my overall SP, so I shouldn't need to have like all those SP items equipped. So we'll do this. Is intellect the thing that we've got focused? We don't have really any focus at all. It would be nice to upgrade this ring. This is a reduce all damage taken ring. I think I want to put endurance on this ring. I think that's what I want to do. So we're gonna scouring pearl this until we get the thing removed, which is immediate. Okay, perfect. And then we're gonna unequip this because it allows us to look at it faster, and we can. This is already endurance. Perfect. Okay. So we just need to find an hourglass in our inventory somewhere. Anywhere in our inventory.
I can't carry anymore.
Okay, which one of these is the right one?
Let's leave it behind.
It's not. It's the right inventory entirely. Oh, perfect. The inventory that I need to look at is actually. Where you at? We're gonna put you. Immediately lose it. You didn't bring it into somebody else's inventory, right? Grain is here. Okay. Bizarre business. Okay, we're putting you here. We are putting... you on. So we now have 99 endurance on this ring, as well as a bunch of speed. I think I'm happy to keep the speed. Speed is just a great stat, so I am happy to do that. We can start pumping this ring, if we so please. And do we have... I don't know that we have anything lower than sapphires. So I'm tempted to just use a bunch of crafting sapphires to get that to the point where we would... Like, because we don't even have that many sapphires. It's almost exclusively diamonds at this point. Like, look at all these crafting diamonds I have. I have, like, nothing that isn't a crafting diamond. There's one sapphire... Okay, I get speed up to 99 with that. Any other sapphires? I think both of these are checked, yes. Okay. So many crafting diamonds. Okay, set crafting sapphire. Save it up. Yeah, it's convenient that I don't really have to worry too much because I'm like, even with the crafting sapphires, I'm not really getting that much out of like finding them in my inventory for this, because it's like I just don't have that many of them to play with. It's mostly just going to be dumping diamonds into this. So... useful stuff. Is that the max I can get to? Is 135 the highest? Alright, so I can get the base stats up to 135 on this. So a legendary ring can have up to 135 in 2 stats, which isn't bad. It's not insane, but it's not bad. And that gets us a fairly sizable chunk of durability on you that we just didn't have before. I like it. And let's see. If we had the resistance spells active, we could get that even higher. For magic damage only, right? Alright, what else do we need? We really need to work on you. You have a suboptimal setup, shall we say. I don't need all this personality on this. We're going to scour that personality off. We don't need it. Because intellect is the stat that we have built on the other things that we have on. There's no reason to have personality on this. I think I might actually want this to just be double endurance if possible. Can I do double endurance?
I don't know.
Can I do 2 of the same stat? That might not be able. I think yeah, I can. So if we can do double endurance for this, that would be very nice. If I can't, it's not a big deal. If we can't get double endurance, we can get something else that's useful. Probably not luck, because we already have such an insane amount of luck. I think endurance is the way to go, honestly. Yeah, let's go with endurance, because then we can copy this, potentially, And we're never going to copy it. We're not going to need to copy this. So yeah, we can just do double endurance, not worry about it, and call it a day. So we need to get the Scouring Pearl ready. We have so many Scouring Pearls now, it's kind of funny. Like, we just have a lot of them. Like, the Scouring Pearls are pretty rare, ostensibly, but as I'm getting further along, like, I'm just getting such an absolute crazy number of them. So let's save under danger. We will take this off, put it in this inventory for now because we need to start modifying it. So this has accuracy. We don't need to put accuracy as the secondary stat on this. I don't think that makes sense. So let's do this. And that gives us personality. Don't need it. That gives us accuracy again. Don't need it. Oh, we have another crafting sapphire here. I can't just throw this on now, can I? I still can, actually. Water resistance plus 225. That's interesting. We don't want water resistance, but it might actually be worthwhile as an example for Korgrick. For Korgrick's leather, to have, what is the thing that I established? Was it Earth? I think Earth is what I established as Korgrick's resistive choice. And so that might be an interesting thing to do for like this piece, but honestly, I don't know that I really need to worry about it. Korgrick doesn't need that much durability coming out of that, especially because we don't currently we don't have the thing that we need for that to work anyway. It doesn't matter. So what was I doing? Right, finding more crafting items. So this is water. This is straight hit points. It's weirdly less hit points. I feel like the hit points there are not the correct value, because I think hit points are supposed to have a higher maximum. So my guess is that probably the base value was just set to be the same, but it's supposed to be higher. I could do int on this if I wanted, but I don't think I want to. And because if I do int, I have an effect somewhere. Do I not have that effect on you? I don't even have that effect on you. Alright, so if I don't even have that effect on you, then that is not super useful to me. Do I want to start pumping this item? I think I might pump it once with a crafting cube, just for shits and giggles. Like, it's an important piece of gear. And there we go. Pumping it with a crafting cube, swapped it over to endurance. So, we can now tag it with the thing that we definitely have. There it is.
It won't fit.
Alright, so we now use an hourglass on you. So we now have 225 and 270 endurance on this sucker. We will pump it the rest of the way. And that will help keep Kortal alive. It's not going to be like game breaking, right? Like, we're going to 55k, which is substantially higher than we were. I think that Kortal was at like 36 before. So like Kortal is going to be in a much better durability place now, but like is still fairly squishy. Let's go ahead and save this. Okay, so we now have this item pretty much done. We could pump this belt of speed if we wanted. The other thing that we could do is we could start looking at Ash. Ash has real garbage equipped, but honestly is doing so well despite having total garbage equipped that I don't know that I need to worry about it too much. You have this ring on. Right, the other... I swapped that ring over to Silria because of the fact that we had to remove the other thing that gave that effect. So this is Int and Luck and $35 stats. This is Doom. What do we want to pump our stats on now? It's tempting to do it on the shield, I guess. Just go all in on the shield. I could actually max out this trident. Just for shits and giggles. Maxing out this trident is a pretty easy thing to do. Gives accuracy and luck. And I think that this makes sense to do. Because this is like clearly a permanently equipped item, and it's on a character who is currently undergeared and overperforming. So, but who in theory scales really well with gear, right? Like a knight in theory is going to scale really well. So we're up to 70,000 there now. We do still have 63 skill points. So we could put another point in plate if we want. And let's see, you have 270 endurance and 270 luck, $52 stats. I think that makes sense. This is all stats. We don't have the Doom effect on any of our armor, which is unfortunate. And I'd like to get Doom on my armor if I can. Like, it'd be really nice to replace the 7 statistics with Doom on this. That being said, the legendary affix on it isn't that amazing, so I'm not sure if I want to like copy this anyway. So I'm not going to worry about it for now. I'll worry about it if I end up needing to copy that. So you are doing your thing. How are we doing on boots? You don't have boots. I could get the luck on this higher if I wanted. That gives me a bit more durability. Let's see. That boosts all my resists. Let's see. I really need to get a new two-handed axe. I haven't been paying that close of attention to axes that I find, and it would make sense for me to start paying more attention to that. This is chain, don't need to worry about it. Still have 30 minutes left. I feel like we've actually gotten some of the most important stuff done. This gives an increase to all resists. It unfortunately also has mind resist on it though. So probably speed is not bad, but I don't think it's worth kind of a wasted slot there. So it would be nice to see if I have some good amulets to replace some of these things. I'm missing a ring slot here, so I should probably do something about that. We have these legendary gloves, which... Did I cap these out? I don't know if I capped these out or not. My gear is so bad on some of these characters. It's so bad. All right, let's look at our legendary. Like this legendary, this is endurance and speed, and I haven't capped it out. This is going to be huge if I cap it out. That can cap out at like 135. So we're looking at a legendary with, again, like just really good stat allocation. Just capping it out and not worrying about it is, I think, a big improvement. Now that we don't have to worry about with the control cubes, every time I level up, I need to be concerned about the way that they are scaling. Every time I like level up, I have to be like, oh, a bunch of gear that I haven't finished, or sorry, a bunch of gear that I have finished becomes unfinished as a result of me leveling up. With the diamonds, that's not the case. The diamonds are still going to be the diamonds forever. So I can pretty effectively make the decision to just upgrade these. And I'll get more diamonds later, because what else am I going to get? Everything, like, I'm high enough level now that basically I have to get diamonds. And so basically I'm capping out some of these slots to the maximum value that they're going to get. So like this item is basically done. Like this, I have 135 endurance, I have 135 speed, right? Like that's done. 270 endurance, 270 endurance. This is a 540 endurance chest. It's going to stay on forever. I might replace it if I get something of Doom that's level 250, but even then, I'd probably just replace this one because that character cares more about it anyway. But we'll see. So your vitality is at 55k. Yours is at 184. We're a little bit lower in our like total durability now because we're not doing the resistance setup. We don't have Day of Protection cast. So we currently have 33% to be able to cast that. And the thing that we have... So we're actually pretty close. I don't think... we're ever going to cast Hour of Power on this character. Because of a couple of things. So the first thing is that it's not as effective per point as the other stuff, which we already knew, right? That was true before as well. But now those points matter more for something like Hour of Power. And so we're basically looking to get Haste, Shield, Stone Skin, and Fate cast by Quartal if that's feasible. But I guess also, now that I think about it, we now have a pretty solid indication of we're currently at the maximum mana reserves that we're going to have. So Haste is never going to cost less than 30% of our max mana. So Fire is important to pump for that. Stone Skin is 18%. Bless is 18%. What else do we have? We could cast Preservation if we wanted on this character. But there's no reason to because Quartal isn't going to be our most durable. So we're going to have 30% from Preservation. If we want to get Bless active, Bless is this. We have 30%, 30%, 30%, 18%, and 30% is 78%, right? So we're going to be able to potentially get one resistance buff active if we want. I don't think we're ever going to get Stone Skin active with you. I could be wrong. But if I'm dealing with heavy physical damage, then I have the ability to swap Day of Protection for Hour of Power, potentially. We're currently at Mastery, though, right? So there's a decent chance that we're never going to have enough to get, like, Day of the Gods and Hour of Power active at the same time. I think that we're probably not going to have those two active at the same time. So we're going to have Day of Protection active. One per 2 caster levels. Alright, so it looks like Day of Protection. This is equivalent to the resists. So the resists. This is a thing that you can think. 15 is the base. Oh wait, this increases fire resistance and intellect. Oh shit! I didn't notice this. Okay. This is a meaningful difference. So this is both of those things tied in together. So you can replace Day of the Gods with the individualized resistance spells. So there isn't a resistance spell in Spirit. Mind resistance gives personality and mind. Body, do I have protection with body? Body resistance gives might. Okay, so casting these manually is a slight improvement overall. Interesting. So if I just want might, endurance, but I don't. I want might, endurance, accuracy, speed, and luck. I want all of those. I want everything except int and personality, right? So that's a huge number of effects to keep active. These are 15% each. So keeping each of these active is pretty damn expensive. If I drop endurance, then it's a bit cheaper. But this is something to play with later. We have the ability to potentially swap over to Hour of Power in order to get these buffs active on this character. Or we have the ability to Day of the Gods and Day of Protection and leave the Hour of Power effects. Because, like, one of the things about Hour of Power does come with Shield. It comes with Shield, it comes with Stone Skin, and those two effects, generally speaking, aren't going to be used at the same time. So Hour of Power might actually not be the way to go, even if you have the SP for it, just because of the fact that the situations where you want those active are very different from each other. So I could do, if I ignore Hour of Power, if I can get up to GM, I should be able to maintain Day of Protection and Day of the Gods simultaneously. And if I can maintain those two effects along with Preservation, which I think I basically just barely can't right now, right? Like 33, 44... 70 something. Yeah, so I wouldn't be able to do it right now. I think, though, if I get the next tier, I would be able to maintain Day of Protection and Day of the Gods and preservation. If I could maintain these 3 effects and have this character just dedicated to generating the more boring effects that are, and I wouldn't even need Day of Protection at all times, right? Because Day of Protection is only useful when I'm taking magic damage, which is probably most of the time I'll have magic damage in play. But Day of Protection doesn't always need to be cast. So I can potentially swap that out sometimes with some other effects, right? And it would presumably be something like Bless or Fate or something like that. Then you are going to want to keep up Haste. And Heroism, which is 60% already. So Haste, Heroism, Stone Skin, potentially. So this gives the party 10 plus 1 per 2 caster levels, increased by 0.2% per skill level. So 10 skill levels increases it by 10%. So if you're at 50, you're doubling the value of this, which isn't really that huge an effect, actually. That's pretty small, unless it's 0.2% of your baseline, but probably not. It's probably, we'll find out later. So yeah, I think, and this reserves 30% as well. So we have 17% mana on Quartal, which I think is fine for now. I think that's reasonable. We have the ability to cast a single resist spell, which isn't really that impactful for us probably. But yeah, next time we're going to be heading into the Barrow Downs. We're probably going to be able to get a lot of levels, but we might not be able to get those levels until we actually get to Nyone, because we might not be able to level up in the Barrow Downs. So if we can't level up in the Barrow Downs, we're going to have a very exhausted party for quite a while. But we're going to try to, I think my goal is going to be to get through the Barrow Downs, then go into Stone City, and I think we're going to clear the entire tunnel system before we go to Nyone. We might not do that, but I think I want to set that as the rule set for this run. Of we are considering every mini dungeon within that area to be a dungeon of all of the world maps that it's connected to. So if we went to Land of the Giants first, we'd have to do them all before we could go to Barrow Downs, though we could go to Stone City, because Stone City is a dungeon area, it's not a world map. But we couldn't go to Nyone. If we went to Nyone first, which again, we can't do these things, but if we somehow managed to get to either of those locations first, we'd have to clear that whole section. Going to the Barrow Downs, I think we want to clear that whole section first. So we'll be clearing the Barrow Downs, we'll be clearing the Haunted House, we'll be clearing the Barrows themselves, we will be clearing the Stone City, troglodytes, we will be clearing Mount Thunderfist or whatever it's called, and we will be completing the Passage to Nyone. Is it called Passage to Nyone? I don't remember what it's called. The one that leads to the Path of the Giants. So we'll be clearing... No, Passage to Nyone is the immediate one, then Thunderfist. Then there's whatever the other passage is, the Way to the Giants. So we'll have... How many dungeons is that? So we have the first world map, Barrow Downs, Haunted House, Stone City area. We're not clearing the city itself, but there's stuff beneath it. Stone City area, Passage to Nyone, Thunderfist Mountain, and then the other passage from there. So it's like seven places to clear, and we might not be able to train in between. So we'll have to see. But that's going to be it for today. So thank you for watching. It has been an absolute pleasure to stream for you today. I'm very excited to try out this buff rework now that I have my characters with the Enlightenment skill high enough to like play with more than like 3 buffs. I think that's going to be very cool. And I'm looking forward to seeing what happens.